my second 4th of July card in my 2017 Independence Day series. This is a very simple design which uses the colors of our flag and some of the features. It has a postage stamp die cut here. So this video is going to show you how to use die cuts to make a layout, and it has a little bit of distress edging, and I have distressed the white to make it look a little bit more aged, more like a old colonial type flag. And the inside is a very simple stamp that I got from Stampin' Up. This says celebrate. So this is a not too difficult card to make. Let me just go right through and show you all the materials that I used. I have my card base, which is cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a red mat cut 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I have a white mat which is cut 5 by 3 3/4, and a blue piece which is cut 4 1/2, I think, by 2 3/4. And I have a 2 1/2 inch square. You need these pieces to die cut. If you did not have the stitched rectangle die cut, then you could assemble the card with just the sizes of this and it would still look fine. You could also take a micron marker, and I think I have one of those handy to show you. Yes, and you could make faux stitching along the edges if you wanted. So there are several options for that. The inks that I'm using today is going to be Distressed Ink Picket Fence, Vintage Photo, Fired Brick, and Faded Jeans. I'm also going to be using Versafine Onyx Black. I'm going to need 2 markers, one pink and one light blue. I'm also going to be using Wink of Stella gold glitter brush for some of the detailing. I'm going to be using a Fisker's punch because I want the stars, the accents. If you don't have to have this punch because this is a border punch, but I'm not using it as a border punch. I'm just getting the stars. So if you had a confetti punch that does stars or anything like that, you could use that instead of this. The stamp set I'm using today is Outlined Occasions by Stampin' Up. And I have this die cut, which is postage stamp set by Spellbinders. It's Nestabilities. And of course I've mentioned the stitched frame rectangles. And I'm also using a Stampin' Up stencil. This is called Hearts and Stars. This is the hearts, of course, and this is the stars. I'm going to be using this star stencil. And I have another stamp from Stampin' Up. This was a one stamp set, and it was called God Bless America. Because I'm going to be using a little distressing, I need a blending tool. You can either use the square or the round, whichever one you had. If you didn't have these, you could use a sponge or a little finger dauber. It will do just fine. Let me clear these things away and I will just start assembling the card for you. It's a very simple design, so I won't do too much talking. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp the postage stamp, but this is all you need to do this stamp, but I went and got a bigger square because it's easier for me as I illustrate this video to have a larger square, but this is really all you needed. So we're going to stamp this with the Versafine Onyx Black right in the center. Okay, got a good coverage. I have a rag soaked with my DIY stamping solution. I'll clean that stamp real quick because I don't want to accidentally put something on it. Okay, now my hands are wet. So I have a bit of water and a paintbrush here, and I'm going to do a quick painting of this. But before I cut it, to make sure that I get a really good accurate cutout, I'm going to die cut it first. So I have this smaller square for the postage stamp, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see how I got it. Oh, cut off a little bit, but it's alright. Okay, now I'm going to take my, where's my red, and put a little bit on my craft mat here, and also the faded jeans. Don't need that much. And I need a paper towel, handy, and I'm just going to do some very simple watercoloring. Put a little water here, not too much, and just wash across with the colors. Because this is not watercolor paper, you have to be careful not to put too much moisture on it. Okay, got the red off. And pick up, same thing with the blue. Okay, get this up. Now set that aside to dry for a minute. Finish with the water. Make sure that's dry. Okay. Now, it's time to do the die cutting. This is not going to be die cut, but these two will be. So I have two alternate sizes for the stitch rectangles. Where did I put that? I got this one and then skipped to the next larger one so that this one is between it, so that I have a little bit of distance, because I wanted a really wide border. If I had used the one side by side, it would have been a narrow 1/4 inch border, and I wanted more than that. So I'm going to just run these to the big shot, and I'll be right back again. Okay, now here is the two die cuts. I don't know if you could tell. I'll hold it up. It's really hard to see. There you go. There's the stitching. Easier to see on the white, I think. Okay, but as I said, if you don't have these die cuts, just use them just like that, and you can do faux stitching. Okay, believe it or not, the hard part, if you could call it that, is pretty much over. So now I'm just going to let music play and assemble the card, and you'll just watch the steps that I take. to take a minute and talk about this. I just got it today. It's called a jewel picker. This was recommended by Jennifer McGuire on her blog. I'll have a link to her channel down below. And before, I was using this quick stick for my sequins and picking up small things, but she said that this was a better tool to use. It's primarily for jewel making, I guess, hence the name jewel picker. It is a dual-sided tool. It has a large side and a small side, and it is very sticky, and it will pick up the item in question, and you can place it in wherever you want it. And I just want to take a minute and tell you about it. I have just used it the one time. It is great. I am going to be parking this bad boy and using this from now on. Back to the video assembling. Alright, that's the finished card. It was very simple. As I said, if you do not have this die cut set, you can just grab a micron tool, pen, and just make faux stitching around it however you want. And you can of course also do the red if you want it, but I didn't think it needed. I thought that was a little bit too much. I'd like to thank my brother David for providing the music for my channel. I have a link down below for his channel. He wrote this patriotic music especially for me. I'm really thankful for all the help he's given me. Thanks, David. 2 thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get the word out and get up some subscribers, so please let everyone know that you really love my videos and pass the word along. Thanks for watching, and happy Independence Day to everybody. Take care.